one that we've started the steam on already. And we're talking about festivals and when beautiful festivals turn bloody. We've seen a recent spate of shootings occurring at festivals. You'll recall the last time we had the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons in the studio. They said now you can find guns at all types of celebrations, not even just at funerals and festivals. Even weddings are not spared from guns and ammunition. Let's take a listen then to a report by my colleague Christopher Amakwa, Northern Regional correspondent, on the state of our festivals as far as guns and ammunition are concerned. Take a listen.
Festivals provide opportunities for social interaction, family bonding, and a shared sense of togetherness, fostering a stronger community spirit. For many, festivals are spiritual occasions that encourage reflection, devotion, and drawing closer to their faith. One common characteristic of festivals is the firing of musketry, which serves as a symbol of honor, bravery, community pride, and to invoke ancestral protection and ward off evil spirits. These traditional gun salutes are performed by warrior groups who display their skills and connect with their cultural heritage. However, the practice has become dangerous due to the increasing use of illicit firearms, posing a threat to public safety and leading to fatalities. What usually starts in a happy mood sometimes ends in tears. For instance, misunderstandings during this year's Homowo celebrations led to 3 deaths at Sowutuom and Anya and 3 more deaths at Teshi in the Greater Accra region. This year alone, between January and August, 7 lives, including a Form 2 student of Bimbila Senior High School in the Nanumba North Municipality, have already been lost in 3 separate festival-related incidents. Yakubu Majid is a victim of a gun incident that occurred during the festival celebration. He lost his right arm in 2024 during a fire festival procession.
I wasn't born like this. I only had this one, the physically challenged, last year, July, during the fire festival. Immediately, I tried sitting on the motorbike. I heard a gunshot. Time. After the gunshot, I couldn't see the hand again. It took the hand back to my neck, broke all the bones, including the major veins and tendons. In fact, the hand was broken beyond repairs.
He believes the face of traditional festivals that brought some communal spirit is beginning to lose its value due to the use of sophisticated weapons.
Duty bearers need to be responsible. We need to be responsible because it isn't that we are not aware of people holding sophisticated weapons. We are aware. Duty bearers are aware. They are much, much aware of it. So what I want to do is, plead is that I am a public servant and I'm saving lives, in fact, more especially children 0 to 5 years. If I'm including some of the children of the duty bearers, now I can't function as those. So productivity is low. So we are calling on all agencies responsible for that. Let's come out, control the level of influx of ammunition in our country.
Since his predicament, Majid's life as a family man and a nurse has not been easy.
He was very key to the work. The time the accident wasn't there. And after the accident happened, it's like coming to work has been very difficult. He will come and the kind of work he used to do has been very poor due to the accident. And because of that, we used to have a lot of impact. But based on the accident, it's like things have gone the way all of us do not want it to be.
Being young tamal da
But how concerned are traditional authorities about these incidents during festivals?
No. When you were in my room, that's why he quoted me. I drew his attention. We ride in palanquin, dancing heavily to Phantom from or whatever it is, and then people fire musketry here and there. Do you know when somebody who have been hired to come and fire you, you wouldn't know. So these are issues that we must all address ourselves to.
The recurring spate of deaths during festivals has raised serious concerns about public safety, the enforcement of gun laws, and the preservation of cultural heritage.
A particular caliber of, let me call it, weapons that are not using live ammunition but gunpowder with discipline. But in recent times, this is not what is happening. We have our chiefs being followed by men wielding AK-47. The licensing of these weapons are meant for only defensive purposes or for hunting. You cannot use them for celebration.
Christopher Mwako, TV3 News, Tamale.
3FM 92.7, Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Again, that was a report by my colleague Christopher Amoka. Let's now connect with Reverend Kalni Anyete Soa, National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. He's the head of communications. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ellen.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you also for the opportunity.
Fantastic. Well, let's start off this way. What is the Commission's assessment of gun circulation and its impact on festival violence this year? We've heard a story of people getting shot, maimed, and also losing their lives.
Okay, thank you very much. So the assessment from the viewpoint of the Commission is that people are not being compliant to the laid down regulations and the rules that governs the use of firearms during festivities. And it is worrying because it is getting to a point where the traditional celebrations that are meant to be joyous, they are meant to be commemorative of the shared values that we have as a people, telling us how far we've come, the things we have to overcome, and the unity it brings. We are going to lose it because people will now begin to associate these festivals with death, with chaos or anarchy, or the loss of lives. And when it comes to that point, it means that people will not be interested in celebrating these festivals again. So we will lose the cultural value and we will lose the patronage that we have. And so we want to plead with people as a commission that there are laid down rules and regulations governing the use of firearms, not just even in traditional festivities. You cannot just bring your firearm to a public or social gathering. It is very wrong and it falls foul of the law.
Right.
Because now, as it stands, people just take their firearms when there is an engagement and they want to fire weapons, an outdooring or naming ceremony, and they want to fire or shoot firearms. And we need to be compliant as a people. We need to be law-abiding citizens so that together we can protect the cultural heritage that we've inherited, and then we can also pass it on to the next generation in a worthy manner.
Absolutely. In fact, the last time you were here, you mentioned that now even as you've reiterated, at naming ceremonies, weddings, engagements, we're seeing the use of firearms, which makes it a very tricky situation. We're losing the essence and spirit of these festivals and these traditional gatherings that we used to look forward to so much. But what would you say are the policies that have been most effective in deterring illicit firearm use at public events?
All right. So thank you very much. Now, when it comes to the Commission, one of the key tools we use in trying to fight the proliferation or misuse of firearms during traditional and then social or public gatherings is a tool of public education or sensitization. We believe in behavioral and attitudinal change. Whilst we put down the laws and the policies and the programs and activities, key is we, the people, having an attitudinal change and behavioral change towards the acquisition and use of these firearms. So what we do first and foremost is to engage the people. We've engaged the traditional authorities. We've had engagement with the people and the youth in some of these communities. So I'll give you an example. Earlier this year, our research unit conducted a research in Tema, Nungwa, Teshin, Nima, so that it will inform the next line of activities and what we need to do towards the traditional celebrations or festivities. We had focus group discussions with the opinion leaders, the traditional councils, and the indigenous themselves. And we found out the issues, and now they can also help by volunteering information so that the commission could clamp down on these issues. Because, you know, those who have the firearms are people who belong to our families. They are friends, they are neighbors. If we do not volunteer information, we will not know who owns what. And when Dr. Adam Bonah, my executive secretary, took over, the very first point of call was to the Wulomos Palace, where we went to commiserate with him. During that time, they had unfortunately lost the Queen Mother during installation due to gunfire. And there, we started using the Wulomos Palace and the Nungwa Traditional Council as a pilot phase to ensure that we bring compliance with regards to the use of firearms in traditional celebrations. You know, they are supposed to use musketries. The musketries do not use charged gunpowder or live ammunition. But we see that now people just bring in pump actions and other sophisticated weapons that use live ammunition or charged gunpowder. And so we came out with standard operating procedures, guidelines. We had a series of engagements with them so that we even have training for the Asafo chairmen, those who are designated to use these firearms. We train them. There will even be identification for them, so that during these traditional celebrations, we know that these are people who have been designated by the traditional authorities to use these musketries. Now, during the engagement we had with them, we are supposed also to assess their armories, to make sure that their armories are fit for purpose, they are secure, they are up to international standards, or they meet best practices, so that people cannot just get into the armories to steal the firearms. Then we also assess the kind of firearms that they have, so that we'll separate those that are fit for purpose or meet the laid down requirements, and those that are not will be surrendered to the state. And the idea was that after that we are going to expand this to the other traditional authorities. As I speak to you, we've had engagement with the Ashanti Regional House of Chiefs, and they are ready for us. But because the Nungwa Traditional Council started the rites for the Omawo celebrations, we had to put a hold to the engagements, although we were still having public sensitization and engagements there. But I can tell you that we are going to resume the talks because we are almost through with the joint SOPs and regulations. And then it will be expanded to all the regional House of Chiefs. But like I said, we need to have our people being compliant.
Certainly. Now, I recall the last time that you were here, you talked about some laws that are in the pipeline and also specifically mentioned a sort of a surrender clause for those who have arms, ammunition in their possession. How far is this law, or what level of this coming into force are we at now?
Okay, so thank you very, very much. Yes, we need robust laws to actually ensure that there is effective enforcement, because when the laws are inadequate, enforcement also becomes inadequate. And we want to thank the Honorable Minister for the Interior for its commitment to the process to make sure that the National Arms Bill, the proposed National Arms Bill, is passed into law. And when it is passed into law, in that bill, there are stringent regulations concerning the use of firearms for traditional celebrations. There are also stringent regulations for that criminalizes the use of firearms in public and social events. The law, the considerations in terms of punishment are far weightier, and it becomes a deterrent to anyone. So you wouldn't even want to fall foul of the law. So we just want to, like they say, Oliver Twist, we thank the minister. He's doing a good job with the law, but we'll plead that the process is hasty. Right. Now, whilst the minister is working on the law, it is currently with him, he's reviewing it, and whilst he's working on the law, you will recall that during the accountability series where he met the press about a month or two ago, he indicated that he's considering an amnesty period. And the amnesty period is going to be a period where people will be allowed to surrender their weapons if they want to surrender it. Those who want to legally own the firearms would also be taken through the process to be licensed. So, as a commission, what we also do is that we give policy directives as a suggestion to the minister, or an advice to the minister, and then he considers it. So, for the immediate and short term, there are a number of policy suggestions which we've tabled to the minister, which he is considering. So I'm sure in due time, it won't be too long, he will come out to let us know what the road plan is. But I want to point this out. If you legally own a firearm, but you feel that you don't need it anymore, you don't need to wait for the period of amnesty, you can go to any district police station of the Ghana Police Service to surrender the firearm.
Right.
Because you legally own it. So
okay.
You don't need to wait for any amnesty. You can just go and then say, look, I have this firearm. It is legally registered. I don't need it anymore. But also to those who own it illegally and they are waiting for the minister to declare an amnesty, who will plead with you that keep that firearm safe. Don't let people, don't let it fall into the hands of the wrong people, because they can use it to foment trouble. I always say that one firearm in the system can cause so much damage. So we need to keep it safe from the reach of children, keep it safe from from people who could use it to foment trouble in the society, whilst we wait for the Honourable Minister for the Interior to give the announcement in his own time, if he feels it is right, and if he feels it is right and prudent to do.
Certainly. And would you say that surveillance and intelligence gathering has improved, let's say, over the last decade, when a baseline assessment was made of how much guns or how many arms and ammunition we have in the system is?
Yes. So certainly, one of the key things we do as a commission is to facilitate capacity building, not just for ourselves, but for all the other allied security agencies, because we believe that when it comes to security, it is a shared responsibility. So there's been series of capacity building for all of us. And so, yes, intelligence gathering has been improved. And just like I told you that we had some research before we tabled out the policy suggestions to the minister. So, yes, there's been that improvement in terms of intelligence gathering. And I can tell you that the baseline survey, we've had a new one, because we do it every 10 years due to lack of finance. We wish lack of funding. We wish we could do it much earlier than the 10 years.
Right.
So we are working on that. But very soon we'll release the latest baseline survey. And I can tell you that Ghanaians need to rest assured that all the policies, that directives for the mid-term and long-term and the immediate term that will be rolled out are due to the findings from that survey, but it will be made official very soon.
Certainly, we look forward to that. But my final question is, considering these recent incidents, these unfortunate incidents happening at public gatherings and at festivals, what new commitments will the Commission make to prevent further festival tragedies? Just in about a minute or so, and then we wrap up on this conversation.
Okay, so thank you very much. So you realize that before the Fire Festival, we issued a press statement, and then we did same for the Omowo. Now, what we are doing is public sensitization. We are going to continue our public sensitization. I told you that there are other measures which I wouldn't want to table now, because the minister himself will table them out in his due, when the time is due for him to do so. But we are going to intensify our public sensitization, be it in the print and play media, and then our in-person engagements, and we are going to continue our engagement with the traditional authorities. But we want to plead with the people, with the indigenous. Let us be law-abiding citizens. Even if you have a firearm which is licensed, you can't just bring it out or brandish it or bring it out to a public gathering or a social gathering. It is against the law. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time this morning and for speaking with us. Reverend Kalni Anyete Soa is Head of Communications at the National Commission on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Time check, it is some 19 minutes to the top of the hour. This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.